You know, it's only till just now, which this is terrible to say, after recording all the videos, the playthrough's done, and this is the third one, because this is 41 through 60. It wasn't until just now that I realized how bad it looks. If you go back to the start of this video and look in the bottom left corner, there is a load state 10. Believe it or not, that's actually not me using save states in order to get a good playthrough. I will go ahead and tell you right now, for anybody that actually guessed, I do die in this playthrough. I'm not by any means trying to do a no-death run. I think I mentioned this back in the first episode, that I took a break after stage 40. I don't remember what it was now. That was like a week ago when I recorded that. It was either to go to the movies or to stop and use the bathroom or get something to eat. I don't remember what it was. There was a legitimate reason for doing it, though. But I've just completely ruined the integrity of this playthrough by just having that little save state marker there, because it's going to look like I just saved until I got a decent playthrough. The only thing you have to go on is my word that I did not do that. So, that's rather unfortunate. Regardless, we're back here playing some more Mario Bros. Arcade game, where the icicles are starting to tick me off a little bit, because, as I mentioned in many episodes prior, more than likely the hazards will kill you long before the actual or before the, enemies manage to do so. Right there, I got very lucky that I didn't get killed by that Firefly B. I'm just going to start calling it a B. As much as we all love Firefly, I'm just going to call it what it is. It's a B. This is the point where I stopped caring about the POW block because I had a feeling no one was going to show up, because I was actually starting to count and see, hey, how many levels are there until I get each bonus game, and then I realized, hey, it's 7. I think it's 7. I'm not even sure at this point. If the next one appears in 51, we'll know, I guess. But I realized I was going to get the bonus game and the POW block would just come right back, so there was no point. And there's perfect 5,000 points, sped up very quickly. Man. I can't believe, I was gonna torture you guys by making a sandwich, because for whatever reason I'm deciding to record this at record the audio for this about 2:30 in the morning, and about 11:30 I went over to a friend's house, because, he was still awake for whatever reason, and I was like, hey, Pokemon Go, that's an excuse to, get a level, because I was like 50 experience shy of level 12, which is when you start getting the Great Balls to, improve your chance at catching. So if anybody's wondering, yes, it is level 12. I'm quite certain of that. So I go over there, and before I head over there, I end up getting dinner. So it's like about 11:30 midnight, give or take. No, I guess it's about 10:30 at this point, because I left it around midnight. But even after eating dinner, I was still hungry, so I was going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because A, I haven't had one in I don't know how long, and I'm not a big fan of peanut butter, and peanut butter never really cooperated with my stomach anyway, but I do absolutely love jelly, just in general. So I was like, you know what, I'll just make a PB&J and torture you guys by eating it. There's no bread! My mom went shopping today and she forgot water and bread. How do you do that? Like, oh my gosh. I mean, my dad and I got water later in the day because we realized, hey, we're out of water. We should, probably fix that issue. But I didn't realize she didn't get any bread either, man. The only stuff that was left was definitely gone sour sourdough. And I mean, like, it was clearly molded, and I'm not sticking that in my mouth. Sorry. I don't eat molded food. It's not for me. For some people, maybe you enjoy it. It's just not for me. But I couldn't eat my sandwich now, so I'm pretty much just left with whatever's in my room, and I got lucky enough to find a small little, as you can hear, little thing of M&M's, but that's not a sandwich, it's not as filling, but it is chocolate, so, chocolate makes everything better. So, at least I can take a slight solace in that. Oh well. So, as I continue on nearing the halfway mark here, realizing that my drink is on the floor beside me instead of where it should be. There you are. Stupid Powerade. Much better. So as we continue our halfway point, what else I could talk about? Anything else I've been doing lately? I've been listening to a lot of music lately, and one of the songs I've got stuck in my head right now, and this is really stupid, is Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, but the worst part is, I don't even like the song. Like, I don't know what it is about it. Like, I have nothing against Imagine Dragons. It's not that the lyrics are bad. I don't know what it is about the song that I don't like. And I guess as bad as this is for saying I have no problem with Imagine Dragons, I think it's just him singing it, which happens sometimes. There's some songs where I just absolutely love the lyrics and, you know, all the instrumental, but the voice just kills it for me. And I guess that just happens to be one of those songs. Because I know Chris Daughtry also did a cover of that, and I listened to his version of it. And yes, that was a very good use of that POW block right there to get rid of the fireball and knock over both the crabs. Thank you for noticing. But, listened to him and it didn't bother me, so it was kind of weird that apparently I just now recently realized that sometimes all it is just the voice on you know, just hearing a voice of somebody that doesn't quite seem to fit the song can be enough to get me to stop listening to it. And so, fittingly enough, wow, good job, me. You just completely wasted your opportunity there. So you're just gonna go kill that bee instead. What did he ever do to you? Besides try to murder you. But I actually did start listening to a little bit of The Voice, and it's actually a surprisingly fun show to watch. I mean, I used to be really big into Survivor. I'm not so much now. I used to be watching, like, every episode and what have you. Not near as much now. You're cutting it close there with the fireballs, dude. You better be careful. You're gonna get clipped by one of those suckers. So there you go. It is 7 stages from 44 to 51. So there you go. Every 7 stages. Boom! Solve the mystery. But yeah, like, holy cow. They've got some really good singers on that show. I mean, they're absolutely insane, some of them. Especially the winner for Season 9. I will not spoil who it is, because that's a relatively new season. But man, that person, even just, like, their opening song, I mean, it just absolutely blew me away. But it's another good example of, like, it's a good opportunity to hear songs that I might have missed otherwise. You know, because I missed, like, a lot of the big stuff, like, you know, back when Journey was, like, really, it had just come out and was kind of huge. Like, I missed all of that. Like, I hadn't heard any Journey song, including Don't Stop Believin', which is, like, you know, I wouldn't say it's their best song, but it's definitely one of their more well-known ones, for sure. Cutting it close there again. But, like, I hadn't heard those songs until much later in my life, you know, like, the 14, 15 mark or somewhere there. So my parents used to be really strict about what I could listen to, and by that I mean, in a Christian household, you can probably guess what that means. It means Christian music and nothing else. And I don't mean, like, it has to be sung by a Christian, I mean, like, only hymns. That's it. Nothing else at all. You know, nothing like it. Which is weird now, because anybody that knows me is like, I'm into a little bit of pop, but most of it's metal. It's not heavy metal, but it's like, you know, AC/DC, Metallica, oh shit, I just had another example on top of my head and I forgot it already. Theory of Dead Man's another one I like listening to a lot. But it's just, it's funny to realize I missed out on all these really good songs. And that's the great thing about watching The Voice, is I get to hear songs that, quite frankly, a lot of them I haven't heard before. And quite often, I've found that I like the person that's singing it on The Voice more often than the actual singer, but it's a pretty good show to watch. If you don't want to deal with all the drama and crap like that reality shows often have, like Big Brother, it's a pretty good show to watch. You won't have to deal with all that kind of junk. And man, let me tell you, if you think Survivor's bad with, like, all the drama they add and stuff, Big Brother, like, that one is, it's all drama. Like, there's nothing to divert the attention away, at least with Survivor, at least in the old seasons. You know, you had stuff like, oh, everybody has to, like, work together in challenges and survive the elements. In Big Brother, it's just drama. That's all it is. There's nothing to stop it. Look at that fireball go. Yeah, the fireballs, let me try that again. The fireballs will start to speed up if they stay on screen for too long, meaning, i.e., you have not killed them, / you're not finishing the stage fast enough. They will start to increase in speed, and that frequency of speed will get faster and faster the farther you go in the game, so that's probably very obvious, but just in case it was not clear, there you go. Good old M&M's. They're just regular ones, by the way. No, you know, peanut butter or anything in them. I'm telling you, the start with this 2 crabs right here, that's gonna be the most annoying start, because if you don't get there immediately, you're not gonna be able to pull off getting both crabs at once. You might be able to do damage to the first one, the one on the left, and bump him once, But if those icicles get in the way, there's just nothing you can do. Because you can't even, like, stop the icicles. By that point, they're already formed. And, you know, like, too bad. So really, honestly, the best thing to do is hit the left crab once and move down a row and try to get them whenever one's going to the right and it's going to text wrap over to the left. And when they're both near that side on the left, then knock them both over and then try to get them both out. The funny thing is, and I started noticing this later on, I'm not sure how much validity this holds, the faster you knock out enemies, the faster the fireballs actually seem to appear, because there's later points where I mess up at the start and don't get both of the enemies, you know, immediately, and the fireball takes a little bit less time to show up. So it might also be the fireball is just well aware that it's like, oh, you clearly know what you're doing here, and yes, I got incredibly lucky there again. It's just like, oh, you know what you're doing here, so we need to add another obstacle to make this more challenging. Which I'd say I don't have a problem with, but the fireballs actually bother me quite a bit. I think there's a point later on where the red fireball actually like gets down into the stage proper, and oh boy does it give me some grief. I mean, that thing was chasing me everywhere. It would not leave me alone. It was out for blood. I mean, there was mass riots in the streets, so much blood, guts everywhere. It was not good. Media loved it though. 4.1. The GPA that will never be. Like my GPA has ever been anywhere close to 4. Well, it actually probably was back in the day. Up until about, like, junior year of high school? It would be 4.0, and if not, it would be very, very close. I remember back when my parents were a lot stricter on that, I used to shudder coming home with a 95 on my test grade, because it's like, oh god, I'm so grounded. But now it's not that big a deal, thankfully so. But we are finishing things off here with stage 60, so I'll be talking about random stuff in the next video. I'm probably just going to knock out the audio for these remaining 3. Which means you get to hear me eat M&Ms for the next 2 videos. I probably won't actually eat that many. I've only eaten 3 since this recording started. I had 2 of them a second ago and 1 near the start, so. Oh yeah, I'll have to talk about the... I'm not really going to call it teabagging because there's no corpse under me or anything like that. I'll have to talk about that next episode because it's actually not teabagging. It's a very funny story to it. And I wish I had remembered it sooner, but it wasn't until just seeing it on screen now that I was like, oh right, I was doing that. Trying to be very careful.